What is up, YouTube? That's here, and today I'm bringing you guys 10 VGC 2023 regulation rental codes that you guys can use in your own games. You can play them on the casual ladder right now or on the ranked ladder once it starts on October 1st. If you guys want to see more content like this, think about letting me know in the comments. And I'm also going to show you guys how to actually add rental codes, because a lot of people actually don't know. You can use rental codes online, you can play your friends, you can play in a lot of tournaments, and it's really, really simple. You just go to this rental teams section of the online area. From there, you can click to borrow teams or to share your own teams that you make. And if you guys have really cool rental teams you guys want to share with me, think about leaving some of those in the comments. I would love to see them, and I know you guys are really, really creative, so I'd look forward to seeing those. Borrowing battle teams is what you guys want to click, and then from there, we're going to show you guys how to add a code. So this is a code that I made. My moderator is one of the ones hosting it right now, but it is a team you guys have seen me feature before. And so every single team on the top right has a code. It's like a 6-digit code. And you can see, we're going to be putting this in right here. And if the team code is still active, it'll pop up right here. So then all you have to do is press the A button and say you would like to borrow this team. And if you borrow a team, even if the owner takes the code down, that team is good in your game forever. You can have it for the rest of the history of time. So if you like any of these codes that I'm going to be featuring today, think about adding them immediately, because I don't really know how long they're going to be up. I'm going to try and keep them up for at least 2, maybe 3 weeks. But if you like these, add them to your game, save them so you can have them as long as you want. So let's take a look at these 10 codes. This first team is going to be the Alolan Golem Torterra team that I featured recently. And I will say for all these teams, there's going to be a link in the description for all the teams and all the battles. If you want to see how I play them live, we'll get a little bit more of an understanding how these teams play. Think about checking out those links for the specific team. So this team features like Alolan Galvanized Golem. It pops off next to Gliscor. I really like this Gliscor set. We have a Fling Toxic Orb. So basically, when we send out Gliscor, we can pop a Protect to then activate our Toxic Orb, which will enable our Poison Heal at the end of the turn. And then from there, we don't really need the Toxic Orb anymore, so we can just fling into the opponent, deal some damage. And the reason why you want to do it like this instead of just having Toxic is for 2 reasons. First of all, Toxic can miss if you're not a poison type, so you don't want to miss. Fling also deals damage, but the real reason is Acrobatics, which is stabbed by Gliscor, deals double damage if you lose your item. So it's a really, really cool set. It's really, really cool tailwind setter. We also have like a Mightyena on this team and a Torterra. I think this is a very, very fun team, and the video we made for it is very, very fun as well. So think about checking this one out. Another team we have here is a rain team. I think I made this team actually. I don't know if you guys could tell. I made this team like last week, but it never actually got around to being up on the channel until probably, the day or 2 days before this video actually goes live. It's a pretty standard team. I would say it's just kind of standard, like Politoed, Ludicolo, pretty normal. Torn Urshi, pretty normal. What makes this team a little bit different is the item choice in some of these mons. So like a Scarf Toad's pretty weird. Trevenant in general is pretty weird, but it's a very, very underrated imprisoned trickery mon. I like it a lot. And last but not least, Landorus Eye. Very, very solid mon on a rain team, being able to go for those 100% accuracy Sand Seer Storms, hitting both the opponents in the rain. So really, really cool team. If you're looking for just a standard rain team to play that features some really hyper-aggressive mons that doesn't have a terrible matchup against Trick Room, think about trying this one out. So let's go to the next one. And if you guys want me to make more videos where I just feature like big batches of rental codes like this, let me know. Because I know like a lot of people have seen a lot of these videos probably, but not everyone gets to see every video. And so this is like a refresher course. It's like that video or episode at the end of every anime, or every anime season where it's just like a recap episode basically. So this team is going to be one where I went into like a full meme mode and made like hazards for everything. So we want to set up hazards with things like Glimmer and Tinglu. If you're a fan of like stall playstyles, this is actually a really, really cool team. So we set up Toxic Spike, Spikes, and Stealth Rock, and then from there we spam like Dragon Tails and Roars. And what's really, really cool about this, right, is that when you use Sleep Talk on the Dragonite and Melodic, it actually ignores your negative priority of these phasing moves like Dragon Tail and Roar. So you can actually skip your opponent's turn. You can hit them, make something brand new come in, take a ton of hazard damage, and it's really, really fun. This is a super cool team, and I'd recommend it to people that like those really grindy playstyles or want to use like a super, super cool meme team just for fun. Another team is going to be Infernape. Talking about teams for fun, holy moly, people did not like this team when I made it, but I think this is actually like a really, really cool team. It just features a really, really unique way to include Infernape, and it might not be the best team. It really might not, but I think this is a lot of fun. What we actually do with this team is we use like Infernape Indity, and note that our Indity is synchronized, not Psychic Terrain. So what we do here is when we lead Indity and Infernape, they see no Psychic Terrain. They think that Indity must be Zoroark, and Zoroark is disguised as Indity. So yes, they do share similar typing, right? But your opponents aren't going to see the Fake Out coming. They're not going to see the Follow Me coming. They're going to think they can just hit the Zoroark And in reality, the Entity's not it's not a Zoroark, so you can go for all the cool things. That means you can go for like a fake out Fire Spin into a Follow Me Fire Spin, get double dots up on your opponents, being able to really utilize that Binding Band, force your opponent to not be able to switch. Entity gets KO'd, Zoroark comes in and just pops things out with like a Specs Hyper Voice. So really cool team. We have standard Scarf Ape, we have Corviknight to close out, we have Guard to close out. So pretty cool team that uses some pretty underrated monsters in pretty underrated ways, and I like this one a lot actually. And the last one that we have of the teams that like my mod team is actually helping me host these, because I can only host 5 rentals. I would love to host so many rentals, but you can only host 5. So these are the 5 that like they're made with using all my mons, but my mod team and a couple of my other patrons are helping me host them, so big shout outs to them for that. But yeah, this team is a Macargo team I featured relatively recently that features like weak armor, weakness policy, Magcargo that we use next to an iron bundle. We side flip Truman into our Macargo, activate weakness policy, activate weak armor, go into our Entity, and then psych up all those boosts onto Entity as well. Very cool team. Again, Entity armor is very standard. This team looks like a standard TR team, so if your opponent has any like imprisoned trickery mons, this should be baiting them into going for those options, just because they don't really know what the rest of the team does. And then from there, like Mandibuzz Garchomp's good at closing games out. Mandibuzz just very underrated Pokemon, very good with the Psychic Seeds as well. So think about adding this team to your games if you want to close out games quick. This is going to be a really fun team for just getting a Master Ball quick on the start of the ladder, because your opponent doesn't really know how to deal with stuff like this. So let's check out the rest of the teams. We're halfway through. Let me know if you're still liking this content, you want to see more. And if you have any requests for Pokemon you want to see featured, that's the question of the day, let me know. I'd love to feature some really cool mons. So here we go. Let's take a look at this one. This is the very first rental team that I actually made for the Teal Mass DLC, and it features Kommo-o, Choice Scarf Kommo-o. And the reason why I'm still including it in this list is I think this team is still really good. It features probably the best mons out of most of the teams. So, you know, a lot of with my teams, you know, we're not really featuring like rank 1 meta teams. We're featuring off meta teams. That's what we do here. But this one does feature like Chi-Yu Flutter, and that's really good. One thing that I really do like about the Teal Mass DLC is that it makes it so Pokemon that wouldn't normally see play, like support mons, actually come out of the woodwork. So yeah, we're using Torterra and Flutter Chi-Yu, but the mon that actually helps those mons succeed to their fullest potential is actually like Own Tempo, Life Orb, Tinkaton with Encore to Encore Iron Hands into Fake Out if they ever want to fake out anything, or go Terra Blast Ground into things like Heatran or Ogerpon Fire. So it's actually like a really cool team, and I still think it's good, so think about adding this one to your game. I don't know if I want to keep Overcoat or go Soundproof on the Kommo-o, because like we're getting to see more of the brand new Blood Moon Ursaluna with Hyper Voice, so Soundproof might be better there as a counter specifically to that, but I do like Overcoat on the Kommo-o, and I do think this is still a fun team to play. Here is one of the better teams, in my opinion, on this list, and it's actually a Yanmega team. So this team has a lot of different cool stuff. I would say that out of all the battles that I played, this team had like by far and away the easiest games to like just win easy peasy, no problem. It features Gravity Sableye next to a Hypnosis Speed Boost Yanmega next to a Snow Warning Aurora Veil Ninetales. So we're basically going to go Gravity, Hypnosis, right? So we're going to go Prankster Gravity into a really fast Hypnosis on whatever we want. We have Bundle, able to go for like not blind Hydros and not blind Blizzards. Really solid stuff. And then like last but not least, we have like just a Serene Grace Blissey mainstay around this channel. And we also have a Wo-Chien that has a really good set specifically against Heatran. So like this Wo-Chien is made to take the damage from like a Heat Wave or like a Magma Storm or anything from a Heatran really, and then get a +2 weakness policy proc, and then one-shot the Heatran back with a Mud Shot. I really do think this team is very good, and I really like that we have Ice Terra on like 3 of the mons. So like the Blissey and Wo-Chien specifically, if our opponent's gonna be slamming in like big physical attacks into us, we can just go Ice Terra and gain the boost from the Snow Warning. So it's actually a really cool team, and I'd highly recommend this one if you're a fan of like fun teams that you have to like really try and find the win conditions for, but when you slot everything together, it's really fun. So think about trying this one in your own games. And let's take a look at another ice team. This is a Hail Room team that I made. This was, I think, the 3rd team that I made for the Teal Mass DLC. I think this team's still really good. I've actually fought against a lot of people using this code, so this is probably one of my more popular ones. But yeah, Ninetales is good. Sandslash is good. A lot of people don't really like Air Balloon Ninetales, but like I'm a big fan of items like Air Balloon that they show your opponent something, right? They say, hey, I don't have a Sash. Hey, I don't have a Light Clay. Hey, I don't have this. I don't have that. You can pop this Air Balloon if you want. So then they tunnel into attacking that spot, especially with things like Fake Outs. You go for Protect, you block all their moves, you can Encore them if they ever make the wrong mistake, and then your teammate gets to do whatever it wants. And because we're using like a Scarf Mammo and a Sandslash with Earthquake, the Air Balloon's actually a good item here. We have a lot of weaknesses to ground that we can mitigate by like having a mon that, like normally, like if I was playing against like a Mon that was just going to be using Earthquake, I don't have any ground switch in. So if like I'm pinned on my Sandslash or my Shandy, I would lose. But, you know, in having an air balloon, now I have a ground pivot if I need it. So it's something that I like. I also really like that you can go in like a little bit of a Trick Room play with like Redirection, Clefairy, Chandelure, go for like a Trick Room. And then from there, just have like Snorlax or Sandslash win the game. So this is a little bit more versatile team, but like it's an Ice Room team. So it's a lot of fun. I think it's pretty cool. And I would say add it to your own games if any of these Pokemon seem interesting. I really do like Alolan Sandslash. We have the Wheezing Azelf team that I featured quite recently. I like this one a lot. Again, it uses Entity Armors again. This is a skill swap Entity, potentially next to Slacking, but the real combo here is Weezing. What we want to do is lead like Entity and Azelf, and you can see that Azelf has Expanding Force, but to use Expanding Force, you need to be grounded, right? You need to be touching the terrain to make it hit both opponents and get that big boost. So what we need to do is, on turn 1, we swap out our Entity for our Weezing, which is going to activate Neutralizing Gas, taking away every ability on the field, not just our opponents, but ours as well. So our Azelf will then lose Levitate, touch the terrain, I would say touch grass, but it's touch Psychic terrain, and then just one-shot both opponents with Expanding Force. I've seen a lot of YouTubers also be using this rental code, and they're blown away by like how crazy fast the game just end. Easy peasy. The things that your opponents need to do to respect like the Entity Azelf board lose to the Weezing Slacking board, and the things they need to do to respect the Weezing Slacking board lose to like Entity Armory stretch. So it's actually like a really, really cool team. And I think that, you know, anyone would have a lot of fun playing with this one if they've never used any of these mons before. So think about trying this one out. And let's see, the last one that we have is the Empoleon Pledge team. I still think this team holds up. I've seen a lot of people thinking that Charjabug's a meme. It's not. Pokemon's really good. We're going to compare Charjabug and Chi-Yu, right? So Chi-Yu has its Beads of Ruin, which lowers the special defense of every Pokemon on the board, including its teammates. Charjabug, on the other hand, just increases its teammate's special attack by a small amount. So they're roughly similar in that regard, but with Charjabug, you don't lower your teammate's stats, and also, like, Charjabug is the correct pivot for Chi-Yu. What's the biggest thing that Chi-Yu's afraid of? Things like ground attacks, things like fighting attacks. Those aren't really that fun. So, you know, especially from things like, you know, Iron Hands, being able to go for like fake outs, drain punches, all those different things. Charjabug's the perfect switch in into Iron Hands, and then you get like you basically get a Chi-Yu that sits on the board forever, enabling all these other massive special attackers. So we have like Fluttermane, we have an Iron Moth. I really like the Ground Terra Iron Moth, being able to, similar to the Tinkaton, check those Heatrans. We have a standard Pledge Core with the Empoleon with the competitive ability. I think this is just a really, really cool team. I would highly recommend people messing around with stuff like this and trying to find win cons using underrated mods. I also like the name on this rental code. Not like the code itself. It gets me every single time. It's so funny. But yeah, that's all the codes that I have. Like I said, there's links in the description to every one of these teams' videos. So if you want to see how I play the team and you want a much more detailed rundown of all of these teams, think about checking out the description. Think about answering the question of the day while you're down there and leaving a like on the video. If you guys want to see more batches of rental codes like this, I can try and do this every, I don't even know, maybe like every couple weeks if this is popular enough. So let me know if this is something you want to see, and hopefully you guys are enjoying Regulation E so far. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Pretty short video today, but yeah, hopefully you guys like it. Peace out. I'll see you guys next time.